WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Governor Andy Beshear says the state of Kentucky can stop a slight increase in gas prices from taking effect next month. The governor says he's issuing an emergency regulation to halt an increase in the gas tax July 1st. House and Senate leaders are questioning the move. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what the regulation will mean for you.
Marvin Miller is filling up his truck and jugs at the Frankfort Kroger. He's hearing about the governor's plan to halt the gas tax by 2 cents next month.
They're going to pay one way or the other. I mean, you know, we need to use less gas and be more efficient.
This is a step that we can and we must take.
But Beshear says the emergency regulation will keep a trigger tax from taking effect next month that would have automatically hiked prices by 2 cents a gallon.
It will ensure savings of Kentuckians at least up to the first part of January.
That's when lawmakers return, but House and Senate leaders are questioning the move. President Robert Stivers says the state law requires the Department of Revenue to administer the gas tax. Both he and House Speaker David Osborne say it'll have little impact.
There are a number from several states that are asking the federal government to freeze the entire federal gas tax. Governor Beshear says he is among them, but he says it's not as simple as it might seem.
What they've got to look at is whether or not that would save us money, or whether these corporations or foreign countries would just come in and pocket those extra dollars.
With an average tank of gas holding 15 gallons, the freeze will save about 30 cents every fill-up.
I think they'll just let it be.
Kentucky's gas tax is currently 26 cents a gallon. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Governor Beshear also said today that Kentuckians need to remember certain programs are in place, such as Community Action Agency plans or the Child Care Assistance Program, to help people struggling to pay for both gas and other expenses. 3 people are hurt after crashing into a building in Laurel County. Police say it happened around 3:45 this morning on Enterprise Lane off 4th Street. The London Laurel County Rescue Squad posted these pictures on Facebook. They say an adult and 2 juveniles were taken to the hospital. We do not know their conditions. Police say one of the juveniles was driving and charges are pending. A Whitley County man was sentenced to life in prison for violent kidnappings. 39-year-old Jake Messer was convicted back in February by a federal jury following an indictment in November 2020. Evidence suggests the kidnappings were motivated by an unsuccessful drug deal. That's where Messer and his co-conspirators took their victims to a trailer in Clay County where they were held for 24 hours. There, the victims were separated, interrogated, threatened, assaulted, and raped. If you're planning to vacation this summer or maybe head out to a festival or large gathering, health experts say we should not forget about COVID. Right now, our state is seeing an uptick in COVID cases. Kentucky River District Public Health Department Public Health Director Scott Lockard says the state's incidence rate is 23%. And he reminds folks how easily Omicron can spread, especially heading into summer.
Last year, that's when we saw the biggest spike in cases for the entire year, was during August. So again, even though it's warm, we need to take precautions.
Lockard says it's too early to tell right now what this summer's COVID cases will look like. He says the biggest peak they saw in the second surge of COVID was in January.
Soggy and stormy across some portions of the mountains this evening as we continue to watch a cold front push through our western counties. We'll be pushing through the entire region before the nighttime is over, and it's bringing some heavy rain to spots. Outside right now, our camera from the I-75 corridor out toward Mount Vernon. You can see we've had some rainfall on the interstate, so take some caution if you're driving along Interstate 75 at this hour. From the front door here at WYMT, all is quiet. In fact, the sun is out. As a matter of fact, it's just those spotty storms you see out to the west, where areas that have already seen some showers, a little bit cooler, but most of us in the middle to upper 70s and low 80s. You see some of our showers and storms working out of Kentucky, West Virginia, and Southwest Virginia. Look out to the west, just south of Somerset right now, between Somerset and Monticello, getting in on some heavy downpours. Same thing between Mount Vernon and Somerset. So we're going to continue to watch everything here push to the east as we head into the nighttime hours. Main severe weather threat to our east, but it's something we'll watch. Showers and storms, and we cool off into the mid-50s overnight. I'll have the details on what the beginning of that first weekend of June looks like coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. We've already seen some record high temperatures, and it's not even summer. While we're trying to beat the heat, WYMT's Dakota Makris explains how you can keep some extra cash in your wallet when it comes to your AC bills.
Power companies are coming out of the harsh winter months and into a hot summer season, but that does not mean they slow down working.
We do have quite a bit of construction. We have a lot of new consumers, new homes, new construction, commercial accounts that we hook up.
And while they are busy getting new members on the grid and taking care of current ones, we're all trying to stay cool inside of our homes. Carol Wright with Jackson Energy Cooperative says they have members who turn their air conditioning on as early as April. She says setting your thermostat to 78 degrees can save you some cash.
People have the programmable thermostats, and they can control those with their smart device, and they can set them down to maybe 76 if they want it just a little bit cooler before they arrive home.
Make sure your water heater temperature is not set at more than 120 degrees, and your washer and dryer, well, they use a lot of energy too.
Make sure you use the cold water setting when you're doing laundry. That saves on the hot water heating itself. And minimize your drying time. A lot of people dry their clothes and then hang them up to finish drying.
You can also switch from incandescent bulbs to LED bulbs to see savings on your bill. Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
Another step you can take, unplug appliances and even phone chargers when they are not being used. The annual meeting of the Hazard-Perry County Economic Development Alliance is taking place at Dashcore Aluminum this evening. This massive facility is a major employer in the area and is responsible for some of the economic development in recent years. Members of the alliance say new business openings have made the past year successful, and they hope to share their success with regional partners. But as economic partners celebrate those past wins, officials say this meeting will help make clear the work that needs to be accomplished in the year ahead.
We've got our annual meeting here celebrating last year's accomplishments and just the organization as a whole and the momentum we've got going forward. So really a look back and a look ahead of what the Hazard-Perry County Economic Development Alliance is working on.
We'll take a closer look at what has been working and what these alliance members hope to accomplish moving forward coming up tonight at 11. A new on-the-water obstacle course in Prestonsburg will open this weekend. The Dewey Lagoon on Dewey Lake will include inflatables to play on and a beach area to lounge on. Prestonsburg Mayor Les Stapleton says the town is going to love this new water adventure.
A lot of people are excited to see it happening. We think we have a quality product over there, and I hate to put it that way, but that's what we're doing, is putting a product up for people to enjoy. We feel like we've done all the things we need to. We know safety-wise we're covered. We think logistically we've done everything we need to do. We think it's going to be a great event.
The Dewey Lagoon will be open from noon until 6 p.m. through the summer, and again it starts this weekend. The Archery Shooters Association takes place in Laurel County every year, bringing archers together from all areas and all ages. WYMT's Jade Saylor went to check out day one and found out what to expect from the rest of the weekend.
The Archery Shooters Association takes place in Laurel County every year, bringing archers together from all areas and all ages.
A nice cross-section of people from around the country. We have classes for kids 6 years old, and we have classes for the big kids that are 80 years old. So we have a little offering for everybody. Everybody gets to shoot 2 rounds of 20 targets, and high score wins.
There are several trailers with equipment set up around the venue where you can learn all about new gear.
Actually come out here and see archery equipment that probably you're not going to see in your own community. There's a trailer around the corner from Lancaster Archery. They're the biggest international archery distributor company in the world.
Aside from being a great weekend for archers, the event is a huge economic boost for London and Laurel County.
Our understanding, based on statistical surveys done, is that this event probably has about a $2 million economic impact to the community.
Archers come from all over the world to Laurel County for this event. Some have been coming for almost a decade.
This was my very first ASA I ever shot, and I believe that was, I want to say, back in 2014.
One of the big draws to this event is the 3D shooting targets placed on the course. And while it isn't the easiest, pros and amateurs enjoy the challenge.
I just like shooting 3D. I mean, like I said, this particular course here, we're always on the power line, so it's dark tunnels, dark lanes, hard to see targets, so it's always a challenge. But I just enjoy being at these events.
The event will continue through Sunday with competitions of all ages and levels. In Laurel County, Jade Saylor, WIMT Mountain News.
Now, even if you're not into shooting or archery, you can still go to the fairgrounds and watch professionals, kids, and everyone in between while enjoying food truck vendors and trailers full of gear. Tens of thousands of Kentucky high school students graduated this school year, and while many will go on to colleges and universities, there's a growing number heading to trade schools instead. Students say the advantages are big. They include big paychecks and very little student debt. Clark County's Area Technology Center helps many in the district find jobs right out of high school.
And in Clark County, what we want to do is not ask a kid, what do you want to do when you go to college? We really want to ask kids, what are you interested in? Let's help you find your passion. And then we've got multiple pathways.
Tonight at 11, we investigate the growing popularity of trades with a visit to the Clark County Area Technology Center. Today, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell responded to Kentuckians pushing for gun reform. He's been touring the state discussing inflation, border security, the war in Ukraine, and gun violence. Senator McConnell spoke to a crowd at the Mount Sterling Chamber of Commerce while protesters called on him to take a stance on gun control. Shelby Lofton spoke with the senator and those asking for change.
We're in the middle of a crime wave.
During a luncheon in Montgomery County, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell talked about recent mass shootings.
Mental illness and school safety are what we need to target.
McConnell said lawmakers are working behind the scenes to propose bipartisan legislation that will pass the Senate.
I'm hopeful and optimistic that we can, but I, like most of you, believe this needs to be done and must be done consistent with the Constitution.
When asked if he supported stricter gun laws, he doubled down on his message.
Those issues and others are being discussed by the group.
While McConnell spoke inside, a group of about a dozen protesters stood outside calling on him to pass stricter gun legislation.
Background checks will help a lot of people who are dangerous not get guns.
Many of the protesters are parents.
I've got a first grader at the local elementary school, and after everything that's been going on, it is heartbreaking.
Adams said McConnell has been wishy-washy on the issue.
You know, we'll wait and see. We'll wait for other people to see. We need a leader. We need someone who has a clear idea of what they need to see happen.
The group said they want a firm answer.
I hope that he notices that we're here. I hope that he notices that Kentuckians really care about this.
In Montgomery County, Shelby Lofton, WKYT.
Congress is in recess this week, but Senator McConnell said the bipartisan group is meeting by phone and Zoom to talk. He said he hopes the group proposes legislation to combat mass shootings quickly.
Showers and storms moving out and sunny weather moving back into the mountains. I've got the latest timeline and how the weekend looks as well coming up. But first,
the NAACP is calling for an investigation into the Lexington Police Department.
WYMT News app offers alerts on breaking stories as they happen.